Hello, fifth graders. So today we are going to do a step-up lesson. And basically what a step-up lesson is, it gives you a little inside sneak peek to a topic that we learn about in sixth grade. Now this topic is all about integers. And in order to even understand what an integer is, you need to understand what a counting number is. Okay, so basically a counting number are the numbers that you started to learn when you were very young. So the numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4. Think about numbers that you count. Okay, those are counting numbers. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, counting up as high as you can go. All right, those are all counting numbers. You also need to know what an opposite is. So in math, okay, an opposite is basically two numbers that are on opposite sides of a number line, but they're both the same distance away from zero. So look at this thermometer right here, okay? You see 0 is right here. You see 6 degrees Celsius is 6 away from 0. You also see negative 6 degrees Celsius is 6 away from 0. So 6 and negative 6 are opposites, okay? 6 is opposite is negative 6. Negative 6 is opposite is 6, okay? Now, I also mentioned a word that you might not have heard of either, which is the word negative. So this right here, this minus sign, it's not actually a minus sign, it's a negative sign. And basically, what it means to be negative, that means it's below 0 or less than 0. That's basically what it means to be a negative number. So now you know about negative numbers, you know about opposites, and you also know about counting numbers. So let's go over this definition of what an integer is. Integers are the set of numbers that include counting numbers, their opposites, and 0. So if we look at this thing, 6 is a counting number. Its opposite is negative 6. And then 0 is also an integer as well. Now if we look a little bit further here, okay, these are negative integers. They're all less than 0. These are positive integers. Okay, they're all greater than 0. And 6 and negative 6 are opposites because they're both 6 away from 0. Okay? Negative 4. What's the opposite of negative 4? 4. What's the opposite of 8? Negative 8. The opposite of negative 10? 10. And so on. Okay? And then this is really important too. 0 is neither positive nor negative. Okay? It's not positive 0, it's not negative 0, it's just 0. And the opposite of 0 is 0. Okay? So these are opposites. Opposite of negative 3 is 3. Opposite of 4, negative 4. They all have to be the same distance away from 0. So let's go over a few examples. Right now, I'm on page 887 in your workbook. You can totally follow along with me. All right, so let's look. It says, write the opposite of each integer and tell how many units the number is from 0. So 10. The opposite of 10 is negative 10. Don't say minus 10 because that's not what it is. It's negative 10. And how far away is negative 10 away from 0? 10. So I have two answers because I have to say what the opposite is and how far away it is from 0. Negative 17. What's the opposite of negative 17? 17. And how far away is 17 from 0? Kind of a trick question. It's 17 units away from 0. Opposite of 22 is negative 22. You may be seeing kind of a pattern. Okay, and how far away is negative 22 from 0? 22. So if you notice, the distances away from 0, are the distances away from 0 always positive or always negative? Distances away from 0, how far a number is from 0, is always positive. Because think about it, distance is always positive, okay? You can't say that if you ran, let's say, 4 miles away from the school, you won't say, I ran -4 miles, okay? You would just say you ran 4 miles because distance is never negative. Now this last one, look at this. -24. That's a little weird. What's the opposite of -24? What do you think? Make a guess. You have two options. Is it -24 or 24? Which is the opposite? I'll give you a hint right now. These two negatives actually cancel each other out. So these two negatives cancel each other out. So -24 is actually equal to just 24. Now this is easier to find the opposite of. So what's the opposite of 24? -24. And how far away is -24 away from 0? 24. So this question right here is a little tricky. All you really need to know, don't even look at the negative. Just kind of almost tell yourself those two negatives cancel out and they actually become just a positive, and it's just +24. Okay? What another student did before, which in my past years teaching I thought it was very clever, they said these two lines, this negative and this negative, they cross to form a positive. So this is one of the negatives, this is the other negative, and they kind of made that little trick in their head and said, oh, well, you can cross them to actually make a positive, and it actually means that it's +24. So if you want to follow that. All right, so let's do two more. -160. What's the opposite of -160? 160. And how far away is 160 from 0? 160 units. 48. What's the opposite of 48? -48. How far away is -48 from 0? 48. All right, so attached to this Ed puzzle, you guys are going to complete a Google form. And the Google form is just going to be just like this. You're just identifying opposites, okay? So remember, opposites are the same distance away from 0. And that distance is always positive, okay? Now, opposites aren't always positive, but the distance away it is from 0 is always the same, okay? -17 and 17 are both 17 away from 0. That's what makes them opposites. All right? Easy enough. Please let me know if you do have any questions, however, and I will be glad to help. Good luck. Have a good day. Bye.